that's in his nature. God just blesses. Psalm 67 says, our God, yes, our own God shall bless us. It's not even something you have to work for, strive for, or even pray for. One of the greatest blessings of your life is when you're just about the Father's business. When you deny yourself, pick up your cross, and follow him. There's like this covenant grace, this favor of God that rests on your life. There's just this knowing. They're like, you're not even praying about stuff. I've been trying to share it lately, but I don't want to condemn people. And I'm not trying to like get you to compare yourselves among yourselves. But there's a lot of things. It's funny. I minister. People ask me to pray for them a lot. They find me and they say, hey, can you pray for me? And I'm like, well, for what? And the stuff that they're asking me to pray for, it's never even dawned on me to pray for those things for myself. And I'm not saying it's wrong to pray. Prayer has its place. But prayer is more of a communion, a conversation with God in this light of just asking and receiving, knocking and it shall be open. You have not because you ask not. So understand prayer. Most of the time prayer is directed for the gospel to be preached clear, for people in authority, for people to have wisdom. For the flow of the kingdom. A lot of prayer and the strength of intercession should be to shift atmospheres and move in the hearts of men by the Spirit of God through intercession and crying out. So we represent something to God through the mediation of Jesus, and he releases his power in that arena. That's healthy prayer. A lot of times we're praying because we feel needy, we're worried, we're concerned. I've actually learned that fear inspires our prayer life more than anything. To the point that if you weren't afraid, you wouldn't even see the need to pray. You'd be like, okay. Like everything's fine because you already see it. You're not taking this person, or you're not internalizing this. You're actually, even if you see a child of yours kind of leaning wayward, what's wrong with walking through the house and you notice something and they're not letting you have the voice you used to, and they're at that late mid-teen moving into the later teen stage, and you're concerned. You know how many people panic, fall apart, and they go to prayer and they call their best friends and we got to pray. He's really hurting. He's really running wild. I'm so afraid. And we're like crying out praying. Man, what's wrong with taking authority and believing and not being moved by that and saying, Father, I thank you for the investment in my child. And God, I know I look and I can see and it looks like warning signs of this and that. But you know what? I am convinced your hand is on him, that you are speaking to his heart, that God, he's not doing this blindly, that God, you're going to give him options. You're going to draw him back to your love. And Father, give me wisdom and opportunity and understanding in this situation, because I don't ever want to be responsible to just preach at him, push him away, or move in fear. I will not move in fear. My son is going to be well because your hand is upon his life. Did you not put him in me and let me bring him forth and raise him up? God, I know. Bam, bam, bam. Yeah? And you walk into your bedroom and you didn't pray. Your declaration is enough. You're declaring, and now that's before the Lord. Now watch this. Now you're going out shopping and you don't look like a worried mother. You ain't a distracted mother. You ain't all consumed with this little thing that's going on. And now you still see people. You still have something to give. And you're just right on track, walking in the grace of God. And you're not letting where your son isn't decide where you are. You're letting Jesus decide that, because you live by faith. Come on. Are you good? Look, I pastored for a while. I watched a lot of parents lose their identity when their kids start slipping. The first temptation is they feel like they failed. Sometimes you just need to realize your child's making his own decisions. And you might have helped feed into it a little bit, but when does redemption kick in? When is God's mercy greater than your condemnation? You might say, well, that's just because I messed up when he was little. Might be true. But are you judged by that? Do you have to face judgment because of that? Or is God a redeemer? Is he merciful, loving, and kind? So at what point do you walk in your bathroom, slip the door shut, and you cry a little and say, you know what, I was really ignorant when I was a young mom, and I felt like I did this, and it pushed him to this. I feel like he's never really been over this, and I've never known how to handle it, and I've always been worried. God, you are greater than any mistake I feel like I've made. So you can't put on the failure mother cloak. You're never made to wear it. Even if you feel like you failed, you can't put on the bad dad shirt. Look, some of us made some mistakes. Some of us vented. Some of us only disciplined our children when we were really angry. Yeah, people are like, "Isn't that when you discipline your child?"
That was a snake move.
No. You don't ever have to be angry at your child and discipline them in anger. You discipline your child because you recognize they're not living up to what they're created to be. You discipline your child for their sake, not because you're ticked and they crossed the line you drew. You're not supposed to have a line. You're supposed to manifest Jesus. So you're revealing Jesus to your child, and in the times of discipline, it's very important to show them what Jesus looks like in the middle of discipline. You don't say, "Well, you crossed my line. Well, if I told you once, I told you 100 times. Just get to your room. But Mom, just get to your room. But Dad, just get to your room, boy." You are not helping little Billy. You're teaching him that you have limits, that he irritates you, that he can get under your skin. And then in his little age, he's thinking God might be like that because you're a Christian. I'm just saying. I don't know how I get on these topics in your house, man. I guess it happens to me everywhere I go. Here, I thought the tank was empty. I'm just kidding. I know better. I could preach all day for the rest of my life. Just all day for the rest of my life. Got to wrap faith around everything. Prayer, this parenting thing, I don't even know how I got on it, but is it helping anybody? Is it? Listen, don't ever discipline your children in frustration. Go get a hold of your heart. Go get a grip on your heart. Take a little walk. Take a deep breath and get a grip on your heart. Don't touch your children because they irritated you. You need to deal with that. God is not irritated. He's not ticked. Nobody in this room came to him to get saved and he said, "Well, about time." In fact, do you know just last week, because the week before I really convicted you and you ignored it, and then last week, and it wouldn't have had to be, and now you want to come crying. Been nice if you'd have just listened 2 weeks ago. So how do I even know you're going to listen now? And you want to come, Come on, God doesn't do that. So why do we do that? He didn't teach us that. Where'd we learn it? We sure didn't get it from him. We got it from self. We got it from the fall of man, from the devil himself.